Good afternoon, good night, good evening, everybody. Hi, educators. How many times have you been told that teaching is easy? You have too much holidays. You're on holidays again. And on and on and on it goes. The interesting thing about it is, this often comes from parents who didn't know much about teaching themselves. But you know something? The nice thing is, after this COVID 19. It'll be interesting to see whether or not they're saying the same thing to us. Sorry. It's always the situation you get from people. Oh, you guys get so much holidays. I don't understand why you guys are doing. You have so much holidays. You're on holidays again. How could you be so tired? You know, you guys are always off. COVID 19 have actually done a lot of things for us as teachers and educators, because they actually make people aware of some of the things that we actually go through as educators. It's not a moan, because we love what we do. However, it's an awareness, because people used to think that teaching was easy. But the test is, a lot of people now have to teach their children or support their children in education. Whereas before, it's a constant thing about how teachers have it easy and all of those things. But COVID 19 have actually proved differently, because they actually show people what some of the things that teachers had to do. Because as educators, we wear several hats. We are teachers, we are counselors, we are supporters, we are mentors, we are coaches. The list goes on. And when parents are actually now having to do the same roles, they're not able to do all the roles. And a lot of them are complaining, because I've had quite a lot of feedback saying, oh my goodness, how did you guys do this? I really look up to teachers now. I really understand what you guys had to go through. Really? I wonder how long this would last. It would just take, in the next few months, they would forget that they actually had to do some of the things we have to do now. So it's really interesting, and I really do hope that this COVID 19 have actually made people become more aware of the essential stuff and some of the things that they have to do, and that their jobs should not be seen as easy. Although on the outside, people are seeing teachers' jobs as easy. But when you actually start looking at it, you realize that there is a lot of things we have to do as educators. And a lot of parents, because they've actually taught the children how to ride a bike, they've actually taught them how to tie their shoelaces, or teach them how to cook, things like that, they automatically think that teaching is easy, because those things they had to do with the children or for the children. They automatically think, oh well, I could do that, so that's easy. So what is teachers complaining about? We are not complaining, we are just highlighting some of the things we have to do and some of the rules we have to fulfill that people take us for granted, and all the kindness are overlooked. It is seen as, oh, it is a vocational job and this is your job, you have to do it. Yes, we've chose that profession, but at the same time, others have to be aware that there's a lot of things that embraces that profession. We're not moaning about it, we're just we're just highlighting some of the things that teachers do that is often overlooked. And the sad thing about it is, even the leaders, the managers are taking the teaching staff for granted, feeling that because you've done that, you should always do it. Teaching is a vocation. Yes, we do it because we love it and we're passionate about it. But at the same time, people need to look at it in the whole entity as to what it is involved. Because teacher's job, as I said in one of my previous posts, is very, very important. Because we are the bloodline, we are the foundation. Every job you could think about, there's a teacher behind it. Yes, there's some teachers that are not fantastic, but at the same time, you have some teachers that are fantastic. you know, and I'm sure a lot of you could remember some teachers that have actually make you who you are today. So when we're actually thinking about teachers and when we're looking at teachers, we should actually see it as it is. And the interesting thing about it is, it'll be nice to see in the next few years, let's say not even few years, the next 6 months, whether or not the stress that other people, that parents had to endure in terms of supporting the children, would they forget the beauty of teachers? Would they forget the importance of teachers? Would they forget that how teachers are essential and how grateful they ought to be? Well, they don't have to be, but I'm just thinking they should be. How grateful they should be for the contribution of teachers. Because believe me, I am sure a lot of you now who are actually supporting your children are beginning to realize that little Johnny and little Peter and little Jane is not as you think they are. Because you're now seeing for yourself that when you're actually trying to fight us because you think that your child is very good, and we are saying differently, we're not saying that your child is not good, but we're saying that how your child react in your presence, when the child come to us in the school, their attitude is very, very different. So when we are telling you something about your child that you didn't know, you need to accept that and say, okay, yes, I'll take that on board and I'll observe that myself. Instead of you saying that you're going to come for the teachers and you're going to box up the teachers and XYZ about the teachers, because we are telling you about your child, what we know, because they're in our care for about 7 or 8 hours. So we actually have a little bit more knowledge about the behavior in the classroom than you do. However, now you'll have a little bit more understanding of what your little Peter and your little Johnny and your little Jane is really all about. Anyway, thank you very much for listening. Have a fantastic evening, guys, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye-bye.